Hello friends and welcome back. So in previous session we have covered in detail the basic concepts of your JMS, right? What is JMS? Where we have discussed about the message and messaging, destinations, synchronous communication, singleton services, JMS providers, the benefit of JMS, right? So this we have covered in detail in the previous session. So now in section 2 of this particular session, we are going to cover two important critical concepts of JMS, JMS server and persistent store. Okay, so as I have explained in my previous session that I have divided this JMS section, JMS in five sessions, okay, because this is bit a complex type of configurations in the WebLogic, okay. Why it is complex? Because there are multiple subsystems, there are multiple submodules that are interrelated with each other. And when we configure the JMS resources, we have to ensure that what kind of a targets we can choose for each and every resources, and for that you have to understand each and every concept in detail. Okay, so it is complex only till you will not get the clarity on the basics. Okay, if you do not have the clarity on basics, you will get always confused on JMS. But if you have clarity on the basics, okay, then it will be very easy for you to understand. And that's why I divided this into different sections so that you can understand each and every concept easily. Right. So now what is JMS server and persistence store? Okay, so what we have learned in the previous session about the messaging and messages. So when two applications talk to each other, okay, so I'm talking about only two applications. So there could be multiple applications, right? There could be multiple applications in enterprise world. They are talking to each other. So when they are talking to each other means they are exchanging the messages, right? And when they are exchanging a message, that means they are exchanging certain kind of a data. It could be in the XML form, it could be in the JSON form, it could be the TXT or anything, right? So that means they are exchanging the messages with each other. And what is the benefit that we have learned about the JMS? It is a asynchronous cluster communication where we have a JMS provider in between which store the messages, okay, to provide the high availability and failures and retry kind of features. Okay, that means if application 1 want to send message to application 2, and suppose that is this application 2 is not available, so what will happen? This application will put the message in the JMS provider in the mediator. Okay, and whenever this application is available, okay, so this message will be processed. Right, so that means you will have a mediator in between who will store the messages temporarily when your destination is not available. And this is one of the feature of your JMS, which is also called the loose coupling. Okay, so this allow you to make the retry feature. Okay, when your destination is not available, you can store the message in a temporary location and then retry when the destination is available. Otherwise, what will happen if we do not have this mediator in between and if your destination is not available, your source will keep try the message for sending, okay, and this became unavailable. So this dependency will get removed with the help of this JMS provider in between, right? So now we have learned about the messages, right? And we need a certain space to store this message. Okay, so to store the messages in the JMS provider on the JMS, okay, we have the two terms. Okay, the first is referred as JMS server and second is defined as persistent store. So both are related with each other. Okay, so JMS server, you can say it is a logical entity for your persistent store. Now, what does it mean? So, very first thing what we have learned, JMS server and persistent store is related with the messages. That means when I said that when application 1 send a message to application 2 and it put in the mediator somewhere in the JMS provider, okay, so that means this messages or this message is going to save physically somewhere in the JMS provider, right? Suppose if it is a XML file, the data is in XML form. So this file is going to be saved somewhere in your file system. Or we have a database option as well. I will explain you. Right. So to store this message physically in your JMS provider, we have the option called JMS server and persistence store. Okay. So these two entities are related with the physical storing of the messages. Okay. So now JMS server, as I said, is a logical entity. Okay. For your persistent store. So what does it mean? Persistent store, so that means it is very clear from the name as well, it is going to persist your messages. Okay, so that means when this message come from the source, okay, this message physically stored from the persistent store. Okay, persistent store, so this define This persistent store define the physical location where the data is going to be stored. Okay, this is the very first thing. And second, JMS server, as I said, this is a logical entity for your persistent store. So that means when we have to define the JMS server and persistent store, okay, or you can say the physical storage for your messages, we always need to define JMS server and the persistent store, two things. Okay, so that means you need to configure a JMS server. Okay, and then you need to target it to the particular managed server. Okay, or you can target it to cluster as well. But for that, we have to understand the JMS clustering. Okay, so as of now, you can see JMS server targeted to manage server 1. And similarly, we need to create a persistent store. And this persistent store target will be same manage server 1 only. Okay, but as I said, this JMS server is the logical entity for persistent store. So this persistent store need to be targeted to your JMS server like this one. Okay, so this is the way how we configure, and this diagram you have to put always in your mind. JMS server target to the corresponding managed server. Okay, for cluster, as I said, I will explain in later time when we will discuss about the distributed topics, distributed destinations. Okay, and second, persistent store. You create the persistent store, target it to the managed server 1, where you have targeted your JMS server, and then you have to assign this persistent store to JMS server. Okay, now for example, if you have created a JMS server with the name of JMS server 1, okay, and then you have created a persistent store with the name of PS1. Okay, so your JMS server 1 and persistent store 1 both will be targeted to manage server 1. Okay, and this persistent store will be targeted to this particular, or you can say assigned to this particular JMS server. So now what is the relation coming between all? Let me clear you again, because this is very important. So this is my manage server 1. I created a JMS server with the name of JMS S1, and I have targeted to manage server 1. Then I have created a persistent store with the name of PS1. Okay, and I have again targeted it to my same manage server, to which I have targeted my JMS server, and along with that, this persistent store is going to be assigned to my JMS server 1 like this one. So this is the architecture that you have to keep in your mind when we talk about the JMS server and the persistent store. Okay, so the messages which is coming to your JMS provider will be stored here in the persistent store, and this will be accessible via JMS server like this one. Okay, so this is the relation between your JMS store and persistent store. Now, when we say the messages are going to store in your persistent store, so we have two kind of a method for storing the messages in the in your JMS provider. One is the file system base, and second is the DB base. Okay, that means the messages which is coming to your JMS provider. This is my app 1, this is my app 2, and in between we have a JMS provider. So here, when the message are getting stored in between, you can store it in file base or database. When I say file base, that means it is going to store somewhere in your file system. So when you configure this persistent store, you need to specify some location in your file system, right? Second is the DB base. That means you can store the message in the database as well. Okay, so if you have very enterprise environment where you have very high availability database, clustered database, right, and the high performance database, so you can store your messages in the database as well. So here, this persistent store will store the message in your database, right? So when we say configuration of this persistent store, so if it is a file base, it's a very straightforward. You just need to specify a directory when you are configuring the persistent store. But if it is a database based, so your message is going to be stored in the database. So if your message is going to store in the database, so how your WebLogic is going to reach to database with the help of data source, right? So if you are defining a persistent store, which will be a database based, so you need to define a data source first, and with the help of this data source, okay, your application can reach to the database for storing and retrieving the messages. So these two kind of a persistent store that we have, file based and DB based store. So I will show you the configuration of both. Okay, how to configure the file based and how to configure the database based persistent store. So now what is the benefit we are getting? If suppose that your destination is not available, the messages will be available either in the file store base store or either in the database. And once your destination is up, the message will be processed. This is one of the benefit, right? So if it is a database store, then the database data is going to message is going to store in database in a particular table. And how that table get created, I will explain you once I will show you the execution. And when it is a file system base, so you need to specify a directory where you want to store the messages. If you do not specify the directory, the default file path will be your server's staging directory. Okay, that means you go to your domain, then go to your servers folder. Inside server, you will have a separate folder for each and every servers. Like for example, I have manage server 1. So go inside manage server 1. Okay, and inside that you will have a folder called data. And inside data, you will have other folder which is called the store. Okay, and then default. So this location will be automatically taken if you will not define any directory for your file system base persistent store. Your server root folder, and then your data, store, and then default. So here you will see the dat multiple dat files which will contain your persistent messages. Okay, and when we configure this database store, okay, so during the configuration of the persistent store, which is type of database, we specify a prefix for the table. That means because the messages are going to store in the database, so a table will be created in the database, and the name of the tables, that particular table will be this prefix which you define when you create the persistent store. For example, if you have defined payment underscore, this prefix you have defined in the persistent store. So the table will be created with the name of payment underscore WL store. Okay, WL store will be automatically postfix there. So this will be the table name where the data is going to be stored in case of a database based persistent store. Okay, so now the last and very important and critical. So as I explained in the first session, JMS is a singleton service, right? That means the messages that is coming in the JMS has to be processed only once, right? You are recharging your mobile, it has to be recharged only once. If you are withdrawing the money from your account, then money has to be deducted from your account only once, not twice, right? So that's why, for example, if you have a two managed server, like this is managed server 1 and this is managed server 2. So here you have a JMS server 1. Okay, here you have a JMS server 2, and here we have a persistent store 1. Here we have a persistent store 2, right? So we have a two configurations in parallel for two managed servers for high availability, right? So if some message is coming, okay, so this message is either going to store in here or in here. Okay, it will not store at both places. There wouldn't be any duplicity, because that message has to be processed once. So it is going to store at two places, then there is a chance that the message will get processed twice. So it will be stored only either in PS1 or either in PS2. So that means each and every JMS server or each and every managed server has different persistent stores where the message will get stored, right? So this is the singleton. So when you are defining the file system based persistent store, so there would be a different file system directory for managed server 1, and there would be different for file system directory for managed server 2. Similarly, if you are going to define database based persistent store, okay, so there would be a different table for managed server 1. Similarly, there would be a different table for managed server 2. Okay, so that keep the messages as the singleton at a single place, not at the double places. Okay, so that message should process only once, not twice, right? This is very important to understand in terms of the singleton services. And when we define the multiple JMS servers, multiple persistent store for the multiple managed servers, so each and every JMS server will have the corresponding JMS server. Each and every JMS server will have the corresponding persistent store. Okay, now further for the clustering, okay, it depend on in below that if you are using queue or distributed queue, if you are using topic or distributed topic. Okay, so this clustering option I will clarify you, okay, once I will give you the detailed information about this one in section 3, and then in section 4 I will talk about the clustering JMS clustering options. Right. So now hope it is clear to you. JMS server persistent store. What kind of a persistent stores we have? How we what is the purpose of that one? What is the default location for messages? Okay, and then I will show you this in the executions session.